What if I told you one of the best places to live in the entire triangle isn't Cary, Apex, or Wake Forest? I know, these places are amazing, but today I'm taking you inside North Raleigh to show you why so many people are choosing to call this area home in 2026. We're gonna cover the hidden gems, everyday lifestyle that's super important, neighborhoods most newcomers never hear about, and a few honest drawbacks that could completely change where you decide to live. My family and I moved here from Southern California 8 years ago, sight unseen. So we've lived the relocation journey ourselves and know exactly how to help you avoid the costly mistakes we made and almost made. And stick around because later I'm gonna share the one thing that surprises almost every buyer after they move here. And if this is your first time watching the channel, welcome. My team and I help people relocate to Raleigh and the entire triangle every single week. If you have questions about neighborhoods, schools, commute times, or just trying to figure out which area fits your lifestyle best, do me a favor, call, text, or email me anytime. We'd love to help make your move a whole lot easier. Now, when most people think about North Raleigh, they immediately picture expensive homes, North Hills, and tree-lined streets. And while all that is true, I honestly think those are just surface level reasons people move here. The real reason people stay is because North Raleigh simply makes everyday life easier. After helping hundreds of families relocate, I've noticed something interesting. Almost every buyer starts by focusing on the house itself. They compare square footage, kitchens, backyards, and home prices. And of course, this stuff's very important. But 6 months after they move, those aren't the things they talk about anymore. Instead, they tell me how much they love being able to get almost anywhere in 20 minutes. They talk about walking the greenways on a Saturday morning, grabbing a dinner at neighborhood restaurants that feels like it's a local secret, which is awesome, or driving beneath those huge oak trees that make the entire area feel established and peaceful. That's what North Raleigh really sells: lifestyle. And you don't fully appreciate that until you've actually lived here. One of the things that immediately stood out to my family after moving here from Southern California 8 years ago was how different every part of North Raleigh actually feels. You drive along Lead Mine Road and you'll find quiet neighborhoods tucked beneath towering hardwood beautiful trees where homes have character instead of every house looking exactly the same, which so many of my clients relocating ask for and honestly just hope for. Then you head over towards Greystone Village and you have one of those places that locals absolutely love. It's not flashy, it's not packed with tourists, it's simply a collection of locally owned restaurants like Ganza Tacos and Tequila, which is awesome, coffee shops like Sola Boutiques, and everyday conveniences that make life enjoyable. Then a little farther north, you'll find neighborhoods like Springdale Estates, Wood Valley, and Stonebridge. These aren't communities you hear about in all these different relocation videos, but they're exactly the kinds of neighborhoods many longtime Raleigh residents recommend because they offer mature landscaping, established homes, larger lots, and a quieter pace of life. That's something I think seriously gets overlooked. Many of these new master plan communities throughout the triangle are absolutely beautiful, but North Raleigh offers something that's impossible to recreate overnight: time. The trees didn't just appear last year. The parks, they weren't just planted 5 years ago. These neighborhoods have grown naturally over decades, and you feel that the moment you drive through them. Even in the middle of summer, like right now, you'll notice something interesting. The tree canopy provides so much shade that many streets simply feel cooler than these newer developments with very few mature trees, which I hate. It's a small detail, but after living here through a North Carolina summer, you definitely notice it. Another hidden gem I don't think gets nearly enough attention is Durant Nature Preserve. Whenever I have buyers who love being outdoors, which are quite a few, I tell them to spend an afternoon there before they make any decisions. You have miles of walking trails, fishing ponds, kayaking opportunities, picnic areas, forest, wildlife, and enough space that it never feels overcrowded. It's actually pretty hard to believe you're still inside Raleigh city limits. And that's the theme you'll hear throughout North Raleigh. Nature and convenience somehow coexist here. And then everyone knows about the William B. Umstead State Park, and for a good reason. It's one of the largest urban parks in the Southeast, with thousands of acres of hiking, biking, horseback riding, lakes, and beautiful scenery. But what surprises many newcomers is how many smaller parks and greenways connect everyday neighborhoods throughout North Raleigh. You're never very far from somewhere to walk the dog, ride your bike, or simply get outside for an hour and just breathe. Then that becomes part of your everyday routine. And I think that's one of the reasons people who move here often become much more active than they ever expected. Now, before we talk about restaurants and entertainment, there's another thing that seriously surprised us after moving here. North Raleigh doesn't really have one downtown. Instead, it has several different lifestyle hubs. Everyone knows about North Hills, and honestly, it's fantastic. Our family is there quite often to get some sushi from Cowfish or watch a movie at Regal Cinemas, or sometimes both. It feels like a second downtown with restaurants, rooftop bars, shopping, offices, concerts, festivals, and community events happening throughout the whole year. But that is only one piece of the puzzle. You'll also find places like Lafayette Village, which feels almost like a European town square tucked into North Raleigh. You have brick walkways, fountains, wine bars, bakeries, and places to eat like one of our faves, Simply Crepes. And then you have coffee shops with, again, another one of our favorites like Jubala. Local boutiques and outdoor patios make it one of my favorite places to bring people who have never been here before. Then there's the smaller shopping areas along Falls of Neuse and Six Forks Road, where you'll discover family-owned restaurants that have built loyal followings for years. And those are the places that locals tend to keep to themselves. The kind of restaurants where the owner actually remembers your name after a few visits, where weekend brunch means actually seeing neighbors instead of tourists, and where you realize you become part of that community without even trying. To me, that's what separates North Raleigh from a lot of the other fast-growing and still awesome suburbs. It doesn't feel manufactured, it feels lived in. And there's a huge difference. Now, if you're wondering what all this costs and whether North Raleigh is still worth the price in today's market, that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about next. Because the housing market has changed more over the last year or two than many people even realize. And for buyers, some of those changes are creating opportunities that simply didn't exist not very long ago. And as of the summer 2026, the median home price in North Raleigh is hovering around $495,000, while the broader Raleigh market, which you know, the median home price is closer around $420,000. And if you've been following the market over the last few years, here's something that might surprise you. The market has actually softened a bit, and depending on the neighborhood, prices are generally down about 2 to 4% from where they were about a year ago. That's not a crash, and it's certainly not a reason to panic, but honestly, what it really means is buyers finally have something they haven't had in a long while: options. We're seeing a little more inventory, fewer bidding wars, and in some cases, sellers actually offering closing cost assistance or builders offering interest rate buy downs and closing costs on new construction. That gives buyers a chance to slow down, compare neighborhoods, and actually make a smarter decision instead of feeling all the pressure to write an offer the same afternoon they toured the house. Personally, I think that's a much healthier market. Now, North Raleigh isn't the cheapest place to buy a home in the Triangle, and to be honest, in some of the exclusive areas, like North Hills, there are still multiple bids quite often. And the houses here are gonna run much closer to 800,000 range and up. But that's because you're paying for location. Not just that, convenience, mature landscaping, established neighborhoods, and a lifestyle which is super important that's hard to duplicate. And for a lot of buyers, that's a trade-off they're happy to make because these neighborhoods have stood the test of time. But before you get too excited, let's talk honestly about something every relocation client asks me: traffic. Now, compared to LA, New York, DC, Atlanta, Miami, traffic here is pretty manageable. But compared to the rest of the Triangle, North Raleigh definitely has its busy spots, especially around rush hour by Falls of Neuse, Six Forks Road, Creedmoor Road, and portions of Glenwood Avenue. All of this can definitely slow down during the morning and the afternoon commute. The good news is there are usually multiple ways to get where you're going. And because of North Raleigh's central location, you're often closer to everything than you realize. You're close to downtown Raleigh, the RDU Airport, the RTP, Cary, Durham, Wake Forest, and even Chapel Hill are within a reasonable drive depending on traffic. Now here's an important update that many people haven't heard. For years, and this is years that we were here, they had plans to widen Six Forks Road. Well, that project has officially been canceled. Construction costs exploded from roughly $31 million to almost $100 million. So instead, the city shifted its focus towards intersection improvements, sidewalks, pedestrian crossings, and overall safety upgrades. So if you've heard someone say, don't worry about it, Six Forks is getting widened, that's no longer the plan. And I always like to share information like that because little details can make a big difference when you're deciding where to buy. Now, speaking of making smart decisions, let's talk about the schools. North Raleigh has some excellent public schools along with outstanding charter and private school options. But here's the big mistake I see buyers make over and over again when they don't reach out to us. They assume that buying a home inside a particular school district automatically guarantees their child will actually attend that school. Unfortunately, that's not always true. Wake County continues to use an enrollment cap system, and for the 2026 and 27 school year, approximately 18 schools remain capped. That means if a school has reached capacity, students moving into that attendance area could temporarily be assigned to another nearby school. And that's going to be until space becomes available. That's why my team and I always recommend verifying school assignments way before making an offer. And this is so important. It's a simple step that can prevent a lot of disappointment later. Now, if private schools are important to you, North Raleigh offers several outstanding choices, including Ravenscroft, North Raleigh Christian, and a number of other highly respected independent schools that families relocating here often consider. Now let's talk about something that rarely gets mentioned in relocation videos. Who actually lives in North Raleigh? Many of Raleigh's physicians, attorneys, engineers, technology professionals, university leaders, and longtime business owners have chosen North Raleigh for decades. That definitely tells me something when people who know the city inside and out continue investing in the same area year after year. And when they do that, there's usually a reason. And I think that reason comes down to balance. You're close to work, you're close to shopping, you're close to restaurants, you're close to healthcare, you're close to the airport, you're close to parks. But when you actually pull into your neighborhood, at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like you're living in the middle of a big, busy city. That balance is difficult to recreate. Now, is North Raleigh perfect? No, no place is. If you're looking for the absolute newest communities with resort-style pools, lazy rivers, and every home there is built in the last 5 years, you might prefer places like Wendell Falls, Flowers Plantation, or some of the newer neighborhoods in Holly Springs, or a community that has tons of character like Briar Chapel. but the homes in Briar Chapel were not built in the last 5 years. If your goal is to walk to work every morning and rarely use your car, downtown Raleigh or downtown Durham may be a better fit. And if you're stretching your budget as far as possible, and that's your number one priority, communities like Clayton, Garner, Zebulon, Fuquay-Varina, or many parts of Johnston County might definitely give you more square footage for the money. That's why when I have my strategy calls with clients, I never tell someone there's one best place to live in the Triangle, because there isn't. The best place depends entirely on your lifestyle. And if you're someone who loves tree-lined streets, established neighborhoods, being outside, and having incredible conveniences right nearby, and living somewhere that feels settled instead of constantly under construction and crazy, North Raleigh checks an awful lot of those boxes. And one thing I always notice is that people who move to North Raleigh, they don't leave very often. Most of the buyers actually move within North Raleigh instead of leaving it altogether. I'll sometimes see them downsize and selling their house after retirement, or they're moving into a ranch home, or they buy something a little larger when the kids come along to visit. But they normally stay in the area because they already know how convenient life is here. To me, that's one of the biggest compliments a community can ever receive. It's when people choose to stay. Now, my family and I moved here from Southern California 8 years ago, sight unseen. We know firsthand how overwhelming it can be trying to choose the right community from across the country. That's exactly why my team and I spend so much time helping buyers compare neighborhoods, not just homes. We'll talk you through commute times, schools, lifestyle, future growth, and even where you're most likely to spend your weekends. Because buying a home is about a lot more than bedrooms and bathrooms. It's about building a lifestyle. If you're thinking about moving anywhere in the Triangle and you're not sure where to start, give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us an email anytime. Our number is right here on the screen. We'd love to answer your questions and help you figure out which community really fits your goals. And do yourself a favor, don't forget to download our free buyer and seller relocation guides using the links in the description box below. They're designed for people like us when we came here to help make your move simple and completely stress-free. And if you enjoy our videos like this one, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel, because every single week we're putting out new videos about living in Raleigh, North Raleigh, Cary, Apex, Wake Forest, Holly Springs, Clayton, Knightdale, Wendell, Durham, and many more. We also talk about schools, restaurants, commute times, and the billion-dollar developments and everything you need to know before moving to the Triangle. Now, I would love to hear from you. When you picture your ideal neighborhood, what's more important? Being close to restaurants and entertainment, having mature trees and quiet streets, or getting the most house for your money? Let me know down in the comment section, because I read every single one, and your comments often inspire our future videos. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I truly appreciate it, and I hope this gave you a better feel for why so many people are choosing North Raleigh in 2026. Whether you decide North Raleigh is the perfect fit, or another part of the Triangle ends up matching your lifestyle a little bit better, my goal is always the same. I want to give you honest, boots on the ground information so you can make the best decision for you and your family. I look forward to helping you with your move, and I'll see you on the next video.